Hi, it's Lyle from Made by Marley. Welcome back to our channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do something that I don't even know if I can do because I've never seen it done. So follow along and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. How many of you have used the IOD Inlays? You can use them multiple times, or like if you're using a top coat, you get one use. But once you've done them, they're still really quite pretty. And okay, they're a little bit faded and a little bit blurry, but sometimes when things age, they they have that blurry appearance. So I did a piece of furniture this week, and I used inlays on them. And this is what's been left over. It's the Giselle Toile inlays, and I put the inlays on to this real blue colour, which is this colour here. Now, I asked Martin very kindly to put me some legs on this. I'm turning this old steamer trunk into a coffee table, or a kind of occasional table. And I thought, I'd been thinking about this for a while, and I thought, what could I do? What could I do? What could I do? And I thought, I know, I've never seen anybody decoupage with inlays. And I was looking at them and I thought, they're still quite pretty. They're going to be a wee bit blurry, but I thought this is going to be quite nice. Now, you wouldn't be able to just put them on to your furniture like this. First of all, you need to coat it with paint to put, because we're going to kind of camouflage it with the original colour. But secondly, these still in places could be live and the paint will just smear and they really will be blurry. So what we need to do is we need to get a spray bottle, which I'm going to show you the process in a minute. I'm going to try and seal them. Doesn't matter if they get a wee bit crunchy after the sealer. I'm going to try and seal them because that'll soften again when we use more lacquer on them. But I'm going to try and seal these inlays in first. We're having a heat wave in Scotland. If there was ever a time to seal your inlays, it's today. So it is a bit windy though, so they might blow around my garden. But I'm going to go and do that now. So I'll take you over to the table. I have a spray bottle here. I'm going to kind of try and do maybe not quite a half and half mixture of lacquer and water in here. Now, I think probably it would be better with a mister bottle, but I'm scared to do that. It'll clog up maybe my misters. So I thought I'd try it with this one first and we'll see how we go. I think probably the secret to this is once you've used it to rinse it all out so that you're not ruining a good spray bottle. So anyway, I'm going to try on camera to be really smart and big and clever and try and put about half and half in here. You can't tell, but I'm going by kind of the weight and how it feels. And I think that's probably half and half. Put my little lid back on. And since it's so hot, put my lid back on my lacquer. So I'm just literally going to... Now this is what I said to you. It's all going to blow away. We'll use my lacquer tin to stop that blowing away. I'm just using an old garden table. I would shake it, make sure that it's... And then I'm just going to... Oh, I don't want them saturated because I don't want them to run. So I'm just going to do this to each one. Let them dry in the sun. I just want to be able to use them again without them running. So we'll see. I think a mister, to be honest with you, would probably be better. But now my lacquer always looks milky until it dries. So don't worry about the milky effect. We're just sealing them. Sealing them enough that I can reuse them. Some of them might be stuck together. I'm sure they were like... Is there... You can make it more misty, Martin. Martin's just trying to adjust my bottle. Oh, it is. That is, Martin. That's why. That's much finer, Martin. Oh, you're a genius. I am a complete and utter idiot. So I don't think these are going to blow away right now. If anything, they might stick to the table. So I'll have to be a wee bit. While these are drying, I'm going to go on and I'm going to paint my little steamer trunk top with the same real blue. This is Guild Lane Real Blue, the colour that I'm using. I'm going to go away and paint that while these are drying in the sunshine. And then what we'll get to is, we'll get to applying these. I'm going to be putting copper on the banding of the trunk. I'm wanting to make this as quick a video as possible. As just I hit upon the idea the other day and I said to Martin, oh, I need to do this. So this is me doing it. Let's see how this all pans out for us. Okay. I'm just taking advantage of the beautiful weather to paint this outside in the beautiful sunshine and let it dry, because I don't want to be decoupaging in the wind. So we'll take it back into the studio once it's dry. But this is what I'm doing. I think this is an absolutely beautiful colour, so I'm really pleased I get to do it again, but with the with the top half. Okay, so I'll get on and do that. They're all dry. I've dried all the sheets. They're all ready to use. And so now we're just going to get about cutting them out and decoupaging them onto the piece and see how this all works out. While this is completely drying, I'm going to paint these struts. I had tried out a copper, but it's way too pinky. It's just way off. So I'm going to paint it with a bronze colour instead. I'm going to do all the struts with bronze. When these are completely dry, I'm going to get a blade and I'm going to cut around here. Now, let's talk about what we just did. I'm super excited. This works. The only thing is, what you have to play with is dependent on your last project. So I had to just piece mine together the best way I could, because that's what my last project involved, that sort of cutout layout. But I don't think that's bad. Now, what I was going to say was I tried to work creases into it because it's quite thick, so it does crease quite a bit. But I think we can use that to our advantage, because I'm hoping that we could maybe, when I'm going to dark wax this, because it's all been lacquered, and hopefully that some of the dark wax will sit down in some of the creases and give it an even more aged appeal. Did it work? Yeah, I think it did. Top tip, because I've just tried this for the first time and I've never seen anybody else do it. So if I was doing it again and you're doing it, I would gently scuff the edges, especially if you ran out like I did on both sides and I had to just place it. It's okay on these parts, but on places where you just have pieces left, I would gently maybe run along with a little bit of sandpaper just to see if it splits the fibres of the paper, so there's not such a, when you run your hand off it, a drop off, if you know what I mean. But you'd really have to kind of fiddle around with that yourself. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be more of these now that I've done this, because it's great. You don't go in the bin, you're not wasting anything, and you get one final project out your inlays. Oh, brilliant. So what I'm going to do next is I'm literally going to get the copper, no, the bronze, I was chatting with the copper just was so blatantly sort of copper, like it was pink almost, so that wasn't working for me. So I'm going to do it with this bronze colour. Yeah, that's more what I'm looking for. And I'm going to paint all the metal, the bronze as well, and all the locks and down the sides, and I'm going to finish this off really nicely. I'm also going to do the legs. I think I'm going to do the legs cream, just to tie in with the overall sort of pattern on the inlays. And so once I've done this, we'll come back again, and then we'll get to maybe some waxing, because we can wax like crazy on this one because it's got the lacquer on it. The copper's just, no, not copper, the bronze is just drying. It's dried actually, sorry, I'm talking rubbish. The bronze is dry. What's still drying is the first coat on the feet. I've just put an off-white on the feet, and it needs a second coat. So I'm going to let that dry. But while that's drying, I want to show you how all the sort of cracks, all the wrinkles in the decoupage paper can be worked to your advantage. So I've got some up here, and I'm going to just rub it around. Now I want to age this piece, so that's fine. But if you can see how it all sits in all the wrinkles. You see how it's settling in the wrinkles. It's a really good way of making something. Look, there's some perfect parts there. Look aged by adding dark wax. And you can add and take away with the dark wax because you know that you've got plenty of lacquer or top coat, whatever you choose to use. But so I'm going to just go on now. I'm not going to let you watch the whole of this, but I'm just going to age it all now. I'm just going to dirty it up, give it a bit of age, keep some pieces a bit whiter, and try and pick up as many of these wrinkles in the decoupage paper as I can, so that I'm really getting. I was worried that I was thinking, what else would I do to this to give it a bit of texture? But it's actually done it itself. So I'm super happy that, you know, this is all going to sit in all of these cracks, and it's going to give it another sort of element of aged and old. So that's all I'm doing now. I was just saying to Martin, well, actually Martin and I were just talking about it. It was a piece of junk that was nothing to start with. The inlays were going to go in the bin, and all I've really done is put some gold and lacquered on what was left over. Now it is completely, as we said before, or as I said, it's dependent on what your last project was. If your last project had lots of tiny little bits of inlays, you're really going to have to jigsaw them together. But I wasn't so bothered that mine's is a little bit kind of here and there, you know, a little bit kind of it's pieced together. I think it's just adding to some of the interest, and you can use the line as well of where you've done it before, you know, where you've joined them up, like here. You can use it as just another part to put some more dark wax in. So it's a win-win situation as far as I'm concerned. It's environmentally friendly. We're not just throwing things in the bin. We're upcycling a piece of furniture that nobody wanted. So, you know, it's a win-win. So I'm just going to go on, and I'm going to take my time, dark waxing, and you can rub it on with obviously a brush. I have actually got my wax brush, but I prefer to use my hands, and then that way I've got a little bit more control of where I'd like it. So I'm just going to go and do that now. I'm actually quite pleased with this. I'm not sure if it's groundbreaking, but I haven't seen anybody else do it. I think that this is the first time inlays have been used as decoupage paper, so feel free, run with it, go on, fly, use it, and tag me in it, just to make sure, you know, that we're all in the loop. What did we do? It was really simple. It was an old steamer trunk. Martin put some feet on it for me, and I painted it the colour that the inlays had been pigmented before. So I'd used real blue, and they were already coloured with the real blue, so I put the real blue underneath. So whatever colour you've used on your inlays and shown up in your inlays, just use that colour, and it camouflages it all up. I've said previously, it does depend on your previous project to what sort of shape you've got to work with. So if you've cut it into tiny squares, that's going to be a little bit tricky. But if you've used it on big pieces of furniture, smooth them out, keep them, spray them with you must. I can't stress this enough, because if not, you're just going to end up with a really smeary mess. You have to seal them because it's live. And even if they've been used 3 times, you're still going to get a little bit off of it. So, and it'll smear everywhere. So You saw me using just half and half, kind of roughly half and half, just to make sure that they've been sealed. Laid them out in the sun. That made them quite stiff, and you saw me really working at trying to make them quite wet at the back so that they would adhere with the top coat. Plenty of top coat over the top of them. When you've got as much top coat as I have, you can then dark waxed. I aged it. I painted these parts here in bronze, and I painted the feet with Cornish white, I think it is, so it's an off-white. That's it. That's what I did today, and thank you again for everybody who's subscribing. Thanks for those who have subscribed and have been following our channel since we had 3 followers. Thank you for all the lovely comments. Please like it, please share it, please tell anybody that will listen about this video. I would really appreciate it. And that's really it. I have no more to add to this, and I'll see you in again another video. Thank you.